Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jadesala, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing yet another career tip. I'm going to be talking about 10 resume mistakes to avoid in 2022. Now I'm going to encourage you to stay and watch this video to the end because the last 5 mistakes I'm going to be sharing are from a study that analyzed over 125,000 resumes, and I'm sure you're curious to know what the top 5 mistakes people are making on their resumes are. So let's talk about the first mistake. The first mistake people are making on their resume in 2022 is that they're not subscribed to my channel. I know. So what are you waiting for? Please hit the subscribe button below and give this video a thumbs up because it's going to help with the algorithm and help to recommend this video to other people who might need help as well. So now let's talk about the first real mistake that people are making on their resumes. And the first one is using unprofessional email addresses. Now, I'm not so sure if Gen Zs can relate a lot with this sort of emails that may sound something like slimmodella2257@gmail.com. I know. Now, if you have such emails, please try and open one with maybe a variation of your first name and last name, and it's just going to look so much better on your CV. Trust me on that. Another mistake that people are making on their resume is that they're including their full home address on their resume, like the entire address from their house number, the street address, and the country and state. Now, you don't need all that on your CV. That is going to subject you to some security risk or even maybe identity theft. What you need to do is just include your city and country, or if you're in a place like Nigeria, just include your state and the country you're in. That is fine. Another mistake that people are making, and this one is really huge, is that people are including their profile picture, their date of birth, their marital status, and very personal information on their resume. Now, what this is going to do is that it's going to open you up to discrimination. So if there are employers who are biased towards people of a certain age, from your profile picture, they may be able to tell that you're not that young. Or if maybe they're biased towards people of a particular race, they're just automatically going to eliminate you from getting interviewed in the first place. So please avoid including such information on your resume. Another mistake that people are making is that they're not paying attention to typos and grammatical errors on their resume. If your resume is filled with a lot of typos and grammatical errors, it's just going to paint you in a really bad light. Mistakes like this can be very costly because it's just going to disqualify you from even getting your foot in the door. So make sure you check your resume very well. If you have to get people to help you read it, then please do so. Or maybe you can even check online for applications that may help you scan through your resume for typos and maybe grammatical errors. Now, another mistake that people are making on their CV is that they are using overly designed and colorful templates. When it looks like your CV was prepared by a graphics designer. Those sort of resumes don't look professional, and for me, even as an employer, when I had my startup, it was like a total turn off for me when I see people who present their resumes that looks like a graphics design project. Use very simple templates. It's easier to read, and it also paints you as a professional. I know some people use Canva for their resume, but try and pick a template that doesn't look like a graphics design project. Now to the top 5 mistakes that a lot of people are making on their resume. And this is from a study by a guy named Austin Belkak. I really hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He carried out a study on over 125,000 resumes and then came out with the top 5 mistakes that a lot of people are making on their resume. And I think that in as much as some of these mistakes might look basic, just the fact that it's backed with data, I think it's important that they are totally avoided. Now, the first one on this list is not including your LinkedIn profile on your resume. Now, the study revealed that including a LinkedIn profile has been shown to boost interview rates, but only 48% of resumes included a link to a LinkedIn profile. And the study also revealed that candidates who included a robust LinkedIn profile on their resume have a 71% higher chance of landing an interview. So we're not going to be making this mistake again. We're going to be including our LinkedIn profile, but first of all, we're going to be updating our LinkedIn profile, and then we're going to include the link on our resume going forward. Second mistake is not including relevant keywords that match the role you're applying for on your resume. Now, the study shows that including relevant skills and keywords boosts your chances of landing an interview, but candidates only included 51% of relevant keywords in their resume, with a 60% match rate for hard skills and only 28% match for soft skills. So it's important to include relevant keywords for the role you're applying for. I know a lot of people will say pick the keywords from the job description, but for lazy people like myself who would like to have a single CV for the role that I'm applying for, what I will usually do is research different resumes for the role I'm applying for. And then I start to pay attention to all the keywords that I'm seeing in those resumes and make sure that I have all of them in my resume, or the most important ones that are relevant to me in my resume. So what I've found in my experience of doing this is that combining all these relevant industry keywords on my resume from different resumes and not just focusing on a job description, there's hardly any job description that I would read that my resume will not be already tailored to. So you have the option of picking your keywords from the specific job description of the role you're applying to, or that you've actually done the work upfront by aggregating all the relevant keywords for this role upfront, and then it's just going to save you a lot of time, in tailoring your CV every single time you're applying for a job going forward. Another thing that this study revealed is that a lot of people focus more on hard skills and they omit some of their soft skills. So in as much as our hard skills are the most important skill sets that we want to display on our resume, it's also important that we show our soft skills. So another mistake that people make is that they list their experience like job description and not include measurable outcomes of what they have done. And the study says that metrics and numbers are the best practice for illustrating and selling a candidate's value, but only 26% of resumes included at least 5 instances of measurable results, metrics, or value, and 36% of resumes had 0 instances of metrics. Now, the best way to represent your achievements and measurable outcomes on your CV is by using the resume XYZ formula. You can Google it. So basically, the formula is something like accomplished X as measured by Y by doing Z. As an example, let's say you are an HR manager. You could say something like, led a mentorship program for over 50 new hires that increased new hire retention by 20%. The metrics you may be using might be financial, so you're increasing revenue by a certain percentage or by an actual value if you're able to disclose it. Or it could be things like improving productivity, or just like the example that I gave, increasing retention as well. But it's always important to be able to show the outcome of the things that we're doing. Another mistake that people are making on their resume is that the resume is either too short or too long. Now, according to the Austin study, it says that ideal resume length is 475 to 600 words. 77% of resumes were outside of that range. Now, I think that this is a bit subjective, but I think that if you have less than 5 years experience, you can keep your resume to like 1 page. And if you have more than 5 years experience, you can have up to 2 pages for your resume. Now, usually maybe C-level executives or people that have maybe 15, 20 years experience may have up to 3 pages, but you want to keep your resume within a length that is not too short and is also not too long. Final mistake that people make is that they add a lot of buzzwords and cliches into their resume. Now, the study says that one of the easiest ways to lose your reader is by including too much fluff and too much irrelevant buzzwords. 51% of resumes included fluffy buzzwords, cliches, or incorrect use of pronouns. There is a difference between keywords and buzzwords. If you don't know resume buzzwords, please go and Google list of resume buzzwords and try as much as possible to reduce them from your CV. Example of some of these buzzwords are like team player, detail oriented, and a lot of recruiters and hiring managers are seeing through a lot of these buzzwords, so they're completely becoming irrelevant nowadays, and you should totally remove them from your CV. So I've come to the end of this video. I hope this was really helpful. I do have another video where I shared my personal CV as well, and I'm going to try and link the video in the description box below. If there's anything you think I've omitted, please feel free to add them in the comment section, and I hope this really helps. Anyways, if you've enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you next time. Bye.